Welcome to Horrid and Vicious, a true crime podcast. I'm Candy.
And I'm Kota.
And this is episode 2, The Murder of Selena.
So I'm actually just going to get into Selena's relationship with Yolanda in this. I'm not going to go into detail about Selena's childhood or anything of that sort, even though it is, amazing. We love Selena.
She's, famous, singer, so hopefully people know at least about that part.
Yeah, she's
amazing. We can all agree on that.
She's the queen of Tejano music, so, obviously there's a lot there about her life that I'm not going to cover here because I just want to talk about all of the things that Yolanda decided to do. For really no reason other than the fact that she just liked Selena, and she's crazy.
I mean, here's the thing, is if you really like somebody, you don't treat them like that. So
exactly.
it was more of a mental illness thing, I think.
It was more of an obsession, and it was more of a... Yolanda just simply was on some shit.
Yeah. Okay, trigger warnings?
Yes, so there is a brief mention of SA. There is obviously the trigger warning for murder, and there's a lot of controlling and manipulative behavior here. So I'm going to also just put a trigger warning for that because I know that is also sensitive for a lot of people. But all that being said, we are going to start off by talking about the year of 1991. And this is when Yolanda first sees Selena perform. Now, at the time, she actually wasn't a fan of Selena. She was more... I've seen some people say that she did like Tejano music. I've seen some people that say that she was more of a country music fan. But regardless, she was not even a fan of Selena specifically at this time. The only reason that she went to see Selena's show was because her niece invited her, and at this time she was working as a nurse, so she was employed. She went to this concert with her niece, so obviously she's in good standing with her family, and she goes to this concert and she sees Selena perform, and she is enamored because Selena has this amazing stage presence. It's not
for real. Oh my god.
It's a well-known fact that Selena had this just
That's
incredible...
why she did so well, because she didn't come from that kind of background,
Well, she did. Her dad was a musician, but not solo in this kind of thing, and not as big.
That's what I was gonna say. It wasn't a huge thing. My dad's a musician, but I wouldn't say that I have a musical background by any means.
Right.
Even though I grew up going to shows that my dad was hosting,
Right. And like I said, Yolanda wasn't even a fan of Selena, but she went to this one show and it was just she just was so, I guess, starstruck and amazed by Selena's just incredible stage performance and just her music, because Selena's music is on another level.
Iconic.
It is iconic. Selena is quite literally an icon, or was quite literally an icon.
Hey, she still is.
She still is. I still listen to her literally every day.
I'm really excited to hear more details about this because the last time I heard about it was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, I love Selena. Anyway, so Yolanda wants to buy some merch to commemorate this concert because she had a really good time. She really likes Selena. But then she notices that Selena doesn't really have any merch, and she's like, well, why don't we start an official fan club for Selena? And so I don't know how she found Selena's father, Abraham's number, but she did.
This is the 90s, so people, numbers were in books probably. Still, and the internet was getting started, and people weren't that safe on the internet. So yes. I can imagine it would be pretty easy to figure it out between everything.
And, maybe he just did have his number slightly public in case anybody,
Well, yeah, and he's a musician, Selena. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty normal for people in that field to have a phone number available.
So Yolanda says that she only called him 3 times. But this is not the case. She called this man 15 times. So she's already a little much. A little obsessive. And this is after the first time she sees Selena. She hasn't even met Selena at this point. She's just seen her in concert. So she founds the Selena fan club, the official one, in June of 1991. But she doesn't actually meet Selena until December, so 6 months later.
Which, I mean, it's pretty normal for fans not to actually meet somebody.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I can see why nobody thought too much about it.
Right. But the way that Selena, and I've noticed this throughout everything that I've watched, like just everything I've read, the way that everybody describes Selena is she's just so real. She was so down to earth. She was such a genuine person, and she would make people feel comfortable. You could meet her, and within like 5 minutes, it's like you've known her your whole life and you're best friends. So she was just such a sweet person, and she was a very kind and genuine soul. Like, she just made people comfortable all the time if they were around her, which is really incredible. Not a lot of people have that air about them, but Selena did. And once she met Selena, she was always around Selena. Like, whenever Selena was in or around San Antonio, she was Selena's eyes and ears, is how that interaction and their relationship was described in the beginning. And pretty quickly after that, she was entrusted by Selena's family with a little bit more responsibility, because at this point she'd been the president of the fan club. Her and Selena are like really close, like things are going good. So Selena gives Yolanda access to her business checking account and a key to her and her husband's home. So she quickly made the jump from fan to close friend. At this point, it's like Selena and Yolanda are talking about a lot of things. Selena says that Yolanda encouraged her to go to college. Like, they have a really good relationship at this point. And this is around the time that Selena starts working on her clothing line, because Selena really liked fashion. She really wanted to have boutiques. She really wanted to be able to sell fashionable clothes. She wanted to wear fashionable clothes. She was very fashionable.
She could pull anything off, though.
She really could. She was so beautiful. She was so beautiful. And she was a beautiful person, too, because a lot of celebrities, they may look good on the outside, but on the inside, they're not so pretty. But Selena was just like all around an incredible person. And her widower, I guess is what you call the husband of somebody who passes away.
It's kind of tough. There's not really a word for husband. Widower is like the female, but like, what else are you gonna call it?
Right.
You know?
Chris Perez still talks about Selena. Like, Chris Perez and Selena love each other so much, but he was kind of like a bad boy, a rock musician, and her dad did not like that. So they actually ended up having to elope, because Selena's dad was like, like, I do not want you to be with this man. And Selena was like, literally, this man makes me so happy, so we're just going to get married. And they did. And then Selena's dad is like, well, you're already married, so...
Yeah.
All right.
At that point, it's like, okay, well, she's an adult and she's married. What else can you do?
Exactly. And she was happy, so, you know...
And I mean...
What dad is going to look at their kid being happy?
They loved each other very much, so...
Oh, they did.
Yeah, he was a little worried about the wrong person here, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah, well, here's the thing. The funny thing is I believe he said in an interview not too long after what happened that he always was a little off-put by Yolanda, and maybe it was the 15 phone calls about a fan club.
Because he was the one dealing with her before.
Exactly.
So he actually had talked to her more.
We're going to jump to 1994 now, by the way.
God,
and this is when
she forgot how recent this was.
Yeah, it feels like it was.
I mean, I guess it's not that recent, because it's 2024 now. It's been 2 decades, but it feels.
To me, it is.
I mean, of cases, like when you think about it. I mean, I guess mine was in the 90s too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time when I hear about cases, it's like the 70s. And we're kind of covering like recent stuff. My next one that I'm doing next week takes place in the 2000s.
Oh, that's a lot more.
It's like really recent.
But here's the thing, it still feels like it's recent to me, and I wasn't
even
alive for it, because Selena's music is just so.
Well, and 1994 feels recent because like that's my siblings were like alive.
My mom was 14 when this. Well, not 14, not yet 14.
Whoa!
But my mom was a child. My mom was alive. My aunt was alive. My grandparents probably remember that. Well, my grandma probably remembers this. My grandpa probably did remember this.
Yeah.
Because he was a very big music guy.
I'm not sure if my parents were really into this type of music, so I'm not sure if they were, but the reason that I first learned about Selena was in a music class in middle school, actually.
I learned
about
her.
Yeah, my teacher loved her so much. Yeah, it's so funny. Like, the different places that you hear about it, because, like, I took Spanish. I didn't hear about it in Spanish. I heard about it in music because my teacher loved her.
I had a Spanish teacher that loved her, and then that rubbed off on me, and that's when I started listening to Selena. And ever since, I literally I listen to her almost every day, if not every day. I love her music so much, and people still do. People are still discovering her music, and they still love her music because it is just that good. Mm-hmm. And she was really just such a talented person, and she just had such a beautiful soul. Like, I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Okay. Every single person that has ever met Selena talks about how wonderful she was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Woman literally had no haters, and you know what?
She had one. I'm just saying.
We're gonna get into that. So,
her biggest fan was also her biggest hater.
Exactly. So. Well, by the time that she's like working on her fashion, her clothing line, she also wins a Grammy, and this is in 1994. So not only did she win this Grammy, but she also opened 2 Selena and etc. boutiques. So in these boutiques, we have Selena merchandise, like, you know, shirts with Selena on them, clothes that she designed, and they also offered salon services because Selena was very big into salon services as well, like the beauty industry. Selena just really liked everything about glamour, obviously.
So slay.
And these boutiques were managed by Yolanda.
Of course.
And Yolanda begins to get even more possessive and clingy towards Selena. Like, it's like a night and day change almost. She, according to the boutique employees, she tries to keep Selena away from other people. So we're getting real possessive, like a problem. There was a fashion designer for the boutique named Martin Gomez. He only worked with Yolanda for 8 months because he couldn't stand working with a vindictive manager. And that is how he described Yolanda.
I feel Yolanda having that kind of manager sucks. I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, especially when you know, like, obviously that this person has a problem. Like, at this point, it is no secret that Yolanda is extremely possessive and controlling of Selena, and she really has no right to be. But for some reason in her head, she thinks she does.
Well, nobody has a right to, like, a person that way.
No, absolutely not. It got so bad. Yolanda had a roommate who moved out after 2 weeks because she was creeped out by the Selena shrine that Yolanda had.
Ugh.
She had, like, votive candles, pictures.
Is there a picture of that shrine?
I did not see one. I might be able to find one.
I can search too. I kind of want to see, you know, what it looks like.
Just like a shrine to a real person is kind of like, I don't know. As somebody who's
it's okay
rich
to
and,
like have something, like, if you like somebody, you like a band, it's normal to have, like, some kind of merch or something.
Oh, absolutely. I have a signed Grayscale album because I love them, and I have so much Fall Out Boy merch, I'm drowning in it. But I don't have a shrine to Patrick Stump.
Yeah, facts.
And I don't want a shrine to Patrick Stump. Like, I just
might have
don't.
Found it. Oh, no, never mind. This is not. No, it's something else. This is a Dia de los Muertos shrine.
Okay.
That's different.
That is much different.
Sorry.
That's much different. But anyway, as a witch, like, I have an altar, and when I did deity work, when I was pagan, I did have shrines, but those were to deities, not to people.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, as somebody who's, like, made shrines before, they're a very spiritual, personal thing, and I can understand wanting to have a shrine to someone that's very personal to you, but at the same time, that's really weird. Like, it's
I mean, especially if you're, like, friends with them in real life, like, okay, I wouldn't have a shrine of somebody that I'm friends with ever. Also,
so
I wouldn't have a shrine.
Shrine of me.
Oh,
you don't have a shrine of
my
me.
bad. I forgot about my Kota shrine. I keep that in the closet so nobody knows.
In the closet, like meat. No, I'm just kidding. Well,
actually, the closest thing I have to a shrine is I have actually I do call it my shrine because it's a little thing to my dog that died. That's different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when a family member or like an animal passes away, it's completely different. Like when Samhain comes up, which is, it's on Halloween. It's basically the spirit holiday. I'm not going to get into that, but
yeah. Well, I have a little thing by my desk
ones.
that it's just this little thing I keep. It's got the clay paw print I got of my dog. It's got a little thing that holds my necklace that has her ashes. And then I have some little statues that people have given me over the years that are of that type of dog.
Well, yeah,
And then my dad also, after she passed away, he got me this, those like illuminated things and it's like 3D.
Yeah.
With the glass. He got me one of those, so that's on it too.
Aww.
And then I've got her harness and stuff. But that is different. Remembering a loved one that passed.
Yes. This is you walk into Yolanda's house and there's just a literal shrine to Selena.
Did Selena ever go to her house?
I didn't see anything about her
could you imagine walking into your friend's house?
But here's the thing: is Selena's the type of person where it's like if she were to see that, she'd be like, "Oh, that's lovely." Like
I feel like it would still freak her out. I think she just would be too nice about it.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Like, she'd be like, "Oh, that's so nice. Like, thank you." Because Selena wasn't the type of person that was necessarily, I don't want to say like non-confrontational, but she just wanted people to get along. Like she didn't really want people to be fighting. She just kind of wanted to live her life and be happy, and she wanted everybody else to be happy too.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And that rings true because while Yolanda's behavior is like crazy, like she's obsessed, she's ruining some business relationships. She can't keep a roommate for more than 2 weeks because of how creeped out they get with her Selena shrine. Selena defends her until January of 1995. So Selena's like going up to bat for her friend. She's like, no, Yolanda's my friend. Like, if you don't like her behavior, fine, but she's not a bad person. Selena's dad is informed that there's an issue within the fan club. Members are complaining that they're not getting their merch after they send in their $22, and that's a problem because
it's fraud.
It's fraud.
It's illegal.
They're supposed to be getting their merch, and Yolanda's supposed to be making sure that this happens because she's the one taking the money.
Mm-hmm.
So he does some digging because, as I've said, Selena is still defending Yolanda with all of her like sus behavior. Because it is really sus, and she just really wants, like, that's her friend. It's her friend, so of course she's gonna defend her. So he does some digging to get some evidence before he goes to Selena, and he finds unpaid bills, forged checks written to Yolanda and her family, which is embezzlement.
Yep.
And he finds out that she had been accused of doing something similar from a previous employer. And the funny thing about this is she uses a fake name for the account, and Selena's dad asks her why she does this, and she says, oh, well, they wouldn't let me open it in my name. I don't know why.
Because you did it before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh. How do you be obsessed with somebody and then also ruin their PR like this?
It's like, not even the PR that she ruins.
All of it.
Get into that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Obviously, like, it just, like, that's not what love is, you know?
Nobody knows why Yolanda is like this.
I don't know why any of the people we talk about are like this.
Yeah, I don't know. I really wish I understood people, but I really don't sometimes in situations like this. But now Yolanda is on the brink of being kicked out of Selena's life, and this is a problem for her because of how obsessed she is with Selena. Like, she needs Selena. Like, if she can't have Selena, nobody will. And I think that's...
Yeah, that's exactly the mindset she had.
That's exactly the mindset
that's
she
100%
had. I can't have Selena, nobody can have Selena.
Honestly, like, it wasn't even just like she likes her in like a friend way kind of obsession. It was like she's
obsessed with
obsessed in a like romantic way almost, but not real romance because like that's not what love is, but she was obsessed with her in the way that, like, a boyfriend would be. Like, the boyfriends that kill their girlfriends because... Or, like, I mean, it goes the other way around, too. Like, a girlfriend that kills her boyfriend, or...
Yeah.
And obviously it can happen with queer people, but this was the 90s, and also Selena wasn't into Yolanda like that.
And also, Yolanda was, like, 11 years older than Selena, so
Freaky.
Not only, like... It's just...
She was so young, Selena was.
I know.
Ugh. Okay,
I know.
Sorry.
So... On March 9th of 1995, Selena, her father, and her sister Suzette, they confront Yolanda about the suspicious accounting. They're like, so what's up with all these checks that you wrote to your family, and why are the fans not getting their merch? Like, what's going on? Why are these bills unpaid? Like, what are you doing with all this money? Like, you have this very personal and business information, and you're using fake names for the accounts. Like, what are you doing, girl? And
stop breaking laws under our name.
All she does is give excuses that are quote unquote satisfactory. So she's just saying whatever she can to, like, get out of this. But now Selena's family doesn't trust her.
Good. Like,
and the next day she shows up to work, and Selena's father Abraham's like, "No, you gotta go.
You don't
like,
work
no,
here
you're done. You are DONE done." So the next day, Yolanda buys a gun.
Of course, as one does.
It's a .38 caliber pistol that she wants to buy, but she has to go, through a background check because they're doing that. And of course, she gets approved. So on March 13th, in 1994, she has possession of this .38 caliber pistol.
This
and
girl.
According to Selena's father, I've read him saying that there were actually 4 times that Yolanda attempted to kill Selena with this gun, and every single time, her attempts were thwarted because the first time, Selena didn't show up alone.
Not every time.
Yeah, but and they didn't know, and they didn't know that she was trying to.
I wish they had. Yeah. I wish they had known, and that's nothing that they did wrong. But I wish they could have seen it and helped. But it's absolutely not anybody else's fault except for Yolanda.
Yeah, this is all Yolanda's doing, and we will get into this. But, so she's fired now, but despite this, she can still access important financial records, and now she's using them as leverage to delay her termination.
Of course.
So she basically stole important documents, and she's like, well, if you want these back...
Blackmail.
You can't fire me.
Blackmail, which is also illegal.
Yep.
Oh, please, just go to the police. Please. I know you're trying to be civil.
Because this is Selena's friend, and
they're trying to be nice.
Like, I don't want to send my friend to prison,
If my friend did something like that, I would do it in a heartbeat. Like, if I found out that you were doing that kind of stuff, and you were my friend and you were doing that, not just doing it, but doing it to me, I'd be like, wow, you've really breached my trust. We're not friends anymore.
And that's kind of the point where Selena's at. Like, she's just not a big fan of Yolanda anymore, and understandably so.
Obviously.
On March 15th, Selena and Chris, her husband, they meet up with Yolanda to collect some stolen records. But she only returned some.
Of course. Because if she gives them all back, then she has nothing to do.
So, not only does she only return some of the documents, she's also showing her gun off to Selena. And she says that it's for personal protection. And that's why she needed this gun. So Selena said, return it. You don't need that. Take it back.
Personal protection from who? Who's trying to hurt you?
And
also, why would you... it's weird that she showed Selena, honestly. It's almost like she probably felt like... What's the word for this? Like, she probably felt good, knowing that, like, she had shown it to her. She's like, oh, I gave you a chance or something in her head.
She did it for her own gratification. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. Like, I mean, obviously I don't because I'm not in Yolanda's head, but
I
know for a fact
you believe that 100%.
Yeah, I believe that 100% because she showed her gun off and she's like, oh, I bought this for protection. Look at my gun. Like, I just bought this for protection. And Selena's like, what the fuck do you need a gun for, girl? Return it.
Who do you think is after you, girl? Come on.
So
also, Yolanda, not to be like mean to people in general, but Yolanda's like ugly.
Well, because she's got a terrible personality.
Bad people are ugly.
No, trust me. I'm sure that's the nicest thing you could have said about
I bet that if we could see pictures of what's his face from the last case, John, I bet if we saw adult pictures of him, we'd think he was ugly.
Yeah, because he's a terrible person. And terrible people are automatically ugly. Anyway, so after Selena... Well, I don't know if this is before or after Selena tells her to return the gun, but she did say that Yolanda could perhaps manage some boutiques in Mexico.
Oh my gosh, she's too nice!
So then Yolanda returns the gun. And then she buys it again, the same
gun,
on March 26, 1995, and she still had important financial documents.
Of course.
So
I think maybe the reason that Selena offered the Mexico was just to get her away, but also try to satisfy her.
Yes, 100%. She's like, okay, well, obviously,
Maybe once they got her to Mexico, they'd just, like, not actually have boutiques. They just close them all down and be like, okay, she's gone.
maybe, but I don't know. I think she was mostly just trying to appease Yolanda because at this point, Yolanda is, like,
a threat. Oh my god, she's a threat. They don't realize what kind of a threat she is.
No, but she's like showing her gun off and she's like being obsessive. She has stolen financial documents. Like, this is a problem.
Yeah.
And then she returns and repurchases the same gun. And
also, then, like, if somebody returns a gun and then comes back to buy the same one, wouldn't you as like the person selling the gun be like, I feel like maybe there's something mentally going on because it's not normal to buy a gun and then return it and then try to buy it again. Like, how do you pass the background checks and stuff while also being so clearly strange? I know, it's just... And I mean, obviously the gun laws are stricter now than they were before. And before that, they were even lesser. And
this is also in Texas, so the laws are a little bit more lax there, and a lot of people still to this day have a lot of guns.
I mean, in Texas, I personally never want to have a gun. If I need to protect myself, I'm sure that I can use something else. I wouldn't feel safe if I had a gun in my home.
She repurchases this gun, and she still has these documents. So 4 days later, she asks Selena to come alone to her hotel room at the Days Inn. Room 158. So, of course, Selena came with her husband. She did not come alone. So, because Chris was like, no, you're not going to her house, to her hotel.
You're not going to her hotel alone, especially after she showed you a gun.
Like, yeah,
and is blackmailing you and your family.
He's like, yeah, no, I'm going with you. Like, I don't have to go in. I'll wait by my car, but
yeah, he was alone. There.
Yeah. So, of course, he waits outside while they're talking in Yolanda's room. And she does hand some documents over, and then she mentions some shocking news. And I'm just going to give the essay warning one more time because this is where we get into this.
Mm-hmm.
She claims that she had been raped in Mexico, and she needed a ride to the hospital. So Selena's like, all right, well, let's go home for the night. I'll take you in the morning. So there's still documents missing.
I think to me that just shows that Selena did not believe her.
Well,
because if that happens to somebody, it doesn't matter that you're tired or that it's nighttime. Like, you would want to go as soon as possible.
Right. But, so there's still documents missing. She arranges a meeting with Yolanda again, alone, on the morning of March 31st. and there's some tension at the hospital because the.
So are we at the third time?
So, well, this isn't the third time. This is the time.
Oh, this is the. Sorry, I know you mentioned there were what you said there was 3 or 4 times before.
There was. Well, I mean, the first time. This is just from what Selena's dad said. It was the first meeting. I guess she had been plotting something. Then there was another one where fans showed up to the hotel room. So obviously there's too many witnesses. And then there's the time with Chris. And this is just what he believes. Okay. It's not concrete.
Well, yeah.
If Yolanda was actually going to do it or not. But
at the same time, she had a gun and was saying, let's meet alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, obviously, she eventually did take advantage of getting time alone.
Yes. So. Oh, absolutely. So, they're at the hospital, and the hospital can't run the proper tests, and there's no excessive bleeding like Yolanda was saying there was. So, Selena's calling her out for this. She's
and you can be raped without having excessive bleeding, but if you're saying there's excessive bleeding, and there's not, that's such an obvious lie.
And then the hospital's like, well, we can't run this test. And it's really not proven whether she was or not because they couldn't run the test. So Selena's like, well, why would you lie about that? Even if it did happen, why are you lying about a detail like that? We still could have got you to the hospital and gotten you tested without excessive bleeding.
Yeah.
Sort of. So
exactly what I said. So
yeah, they continue to argue. And Selena's like, okay, well, you need to give me my documents back. And at this point, they're back
I know you're going through something, but I need my papers.
Well, yeah. Well, she did.
Well, she's completely valid of her to say. It's just funny to imagine the situation, how it got from point A to point B. Right. She's like, okay, you're lying, aren't you? Also, where are my documents that have nothing to do with what we're talking about? I know, but it's they're obviously it got there somehow.
And I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming there's a tense car ride back to the hotel room, and they're back in the hotel room, and Selena's like, all right, you need to give me my shit back. I'm not playing this game with you anymore, girl. And Yolanda's like, well, you need to give me this ring that was gifted to you back. So, of course, Selena's
that's not how gifts work.
Well, I think it was given to her by a different fan. I don't know if the ring was given to Yolanda by a fan and Yolanda gave it to Selena. I don't know, but the ring was a gift.
Well, if the ring was given to Yolanda by a fan, it was to give to Selena.
Yeah.
It wasn't for her. It was not hers, but whatever.
But exactly.
And when you gift someone something, it's not yours anymore. That's how gifts work.
Selena's like, fine, let me take this ring off. So she's got her back turned, and she's looking away from Yolanda, man. And she's taking the ring off. And as she's taking the ring off, Yolanda pulls her gun out. And she shoots Selena at 11:48 a.m. And then Yolanda screams. Selena runs out of the room, and she's, bleeding because
obviously, she's been shot.
Yeah, well, the bullet hit a major artery. It went through her right lung and came out of her chest. So Selena makes it all the way to the lobby, and then she collapses. And she's begging the workers, lock the door, because she'll shoot me again. That is exactly what she said. Yeah, and they're like, well, who shot you? What's happening? And these are the last.
Just lock the door.
This is, and well, they did. They locked the door. And then the last words that Selena said before she passed out were, Yolanda, room 158.
Oh my God.
So she's lost a lot of blood because, like I said, the bullet hit a major artery. It went through her lung, came out of her chest. So she's...
Well, and then her lungs probably, collapsing and shit from that.
Yeah, so she's rushed to the hospital, but there was so much blood loss that she was clinically brain dead when she got there. And she was 23 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. That's how old she was. That's how old I am.
I know, me too.
That is so scary.
It is terrifying. And she was pronounced dead at 1:05
So young. She had so much life ahead of her.
I know.
And she could have been so... she's already obviously, a famous singer. But she could have been even more famous. I think she would be on par with Shakira, huge sort of thing, you know?
Oh, no, yeah, she would have absolutely
And I mean, she already kind of is, even though
she
didn't live through this, you know? But, like, she could have been performing still. Like, we probably could have seen her in tour.
She would be like 50. So she would still probably be performing and making music, and
we know tons of 50-year-old singers that are still going hard, so.
And I believe even if she wasn't still making new music, she would have pursued fashion, and she would have had boutiques, and she would have had
and we might not have seen her, like, now. She might have quit by now, but we could have seen her growing up. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And we didn't get to do that.
No, we didn't, because
and we didn't have a chance because this one person decided that she was the most important.
Yeah.
That's the thing. These people just have this sense of importance and that they are above everybody else. Their feelings matter the most and nobody else's do.
I believe
it's narcissism. I think that every person who kills other people, not like just in general, but like people who do it for some kind of gratification, like Yolanda, I think that they are all narcissists, whether they get diagnosed or not. To be able to do that just because you wanted to means that you are putting yourself above them and you think you are better and more important and your life matters more than theirs.
Well, we're about to get into
your happiness matters more than them being alive.
Yolanda's fuck shit does not end here.
Of course it doesn't.
It's bad. Yolanda pisses me off so much.
I'm so mad at her.
Like, she literally felt like, and I believe this, she felt like she owned Selena, that she made Selena. When Selena made herself.
Yeah, Selena was already famous. Like, Selena for you to go see her.
Selena did not need her.
Selena
did not need her.
Like, if she hadn't made an official fan club, somebody would have. Exactly. And, like, Selena already was interested in fashion. She would have already figured out how to make merch. It might have just taken slightly longer.
She might have already been doing it. We don't know.
True.
But after this, Yolanda sits in her truck with a gun to her head and she's threatening suicide. She had a 9.5
she's trying to take the easy way out.
Exactly. She had a 9.5 hour standoff with the police.
Honestly, like, if she wanted to do it, she would have, but she pussied out.
She was literally just trying to get out of what she did to Selena.
Yeah, because if she wanted to kill herself, she could have done it in that time. She could have done it before they got there.
9.5 hours.
That's psychotic.
I know. So
did she have to? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. 9.5 hours in her truck. She had to have peed her pants.
I hope she did.
Because there's no way you're sitting there for 9.5 hours in a standoff and you don't, like, have to pee at some point.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know. I hope she did because I think that's really embarrassing.
Because she had to have peed her pants because in order for her to not pee her pants in that situation, she would have had to take the gun down from her head to, like, do something else, right?
Right.
So if she's got a gun to her head for 9 hours, that means if she had to pee, the only place she did it was on herself. And I don't, obviously it's not released that happened, but I'm gonna imagine that it did.
I hope she got a
rash. Yeah, oh my god, I hope she got a UTI.
Me too.
I hope that it was terrible. I hope she got a yeast infection.
I do too. So anyway, the lead negotiator, because they had a negotiator, because like she's trying to kill herself.
No, she's not.
No, she's not. But in the police's eyes,
she would have done it.
Involved. But in the police's eyes,
like in the police's eyes, like if somebody is resisting too much, you kill them. So like if she's resisting, just let her.
True.
And if she's gonna kill herself, she's gonna kill herself.
Well, suicide by cop is like an actual like really tragic thing.
It is. But I mean, the point here is like that she. Like, obviously, especially after, like, the first hour, I'd be like, wouldn't she have done it by now if she was gonna? Like,
yeah. And
I don't think we're convincing her not to. I think that if she was gonna do it, she would have. And I think that we should just rush her.
Yeah.
Not that they did anything wrong, right? Like, I just think if I were in that situation, I think I would have felt differently.
I agree, but I think
this is why I'm not a police officer. I'd be terrible.
I'd
be like, I'd see a pedophile, I'd be like, I'm gonna turn around, y'all beat his ass.
And there are cops that do that. But anyway,
and I support them.
I do too. But anyway, they're like, they want answers. Like, they're trying to figure out why the hell.
Yeah. The reason is that she's out of her mind. That's the reason.
Like, excuse me, this is Selena. What the fuck is wrong with you?
There's no...
Do you not know?
Like, I just feel like it sucks because no matter... Like, we know why she did it. Because she was obsessed and crazy. Yeah. Even if she doesn't say why she did it, we know that. But that is... Does. And that's not a good enough reason. Because there's no good enough reason. Well, it's not going to provide closure for her family.
No, because this is when it actually, like, gets crazy. So there's the lead negotiator, because they have to have a negotiator.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
Got a gun to her head. No, you're good. She's got a gun to her head. She's, like, crying. She's gonna kill herself. And the negotiator's name is Larry Rucker Young. He is on the phone with her for 7.5 hours. And you know what Yolanda does on the phone with him?
What?
She blames Selena's dad.
Oh my god. Oh wait, I remember hearing about that. Oh my god.
She blames her dad. She's like, it's Abraham's fault that I did this.
It's her dad's fault that I murdered her in this motel and also didn't even plan it that well because I'm an idiot.
And the whole time she's like asking how Selena is, like demanding that they tell her like what's going on with Selena.
Girl, you shot her. How do you think?
Not that I'm on a first name basis with the man, but Larry decided against telling Yolanda that Selena was dead because he just wanted her to put the gun down and surrender.
And he thought she might do it if he told her.
After 9.5 hours, she does, and she's taken in. And so,
like, I just imagine I'd look at her, I'd be like, how do you think she's doing?
Exactly. Like, you shot her, girl.
Like, what do you think, Yolanda? How do you think she's faring after getting shot through her lung?
So, Selena officially, when she died, they call it hypovolemic shock, which is severe blood loss. So
which is a common thing with gunshot wounds.
Yeah, especially when they hit arteries. So, Yolanda insists that the shooting was an accident. She was trying to quit. Selena begged her not to. And the reason that Selena got shot is because she was holding the gun to her own head, threatening to kill herself if Selena didn't leave. And she accidentally fired the gun while gesturing towards the door. And to this day, she still sticks to that story.
Because you bought a gun with the intention of doing that, right? Yeah. With the intention of pretending to threaten to kill yourself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was your intention. And definitely not to hurt this person that you've been financially hurting already and, like, manipulating for a while now. Yep. But sure.
Yeah.
That's so believable.
We don't actually know truly why Yolanda decided to do this. But we're gonna stop talking about Yolanda for a minute. We're gonna talk about Selena's funeral. So on Monday, April 3rd, she had a closed casket public viewing with 5,000 white roses because those were Selena's favorite flower. Mm-hmm. So almost 60,000 people paid their respects to Selena. And there's like vigils that are held. There's a lot of things were canceled in honor of Selena's passing because she was huge in Mexico. She was huge in the United States, and a lot of people, especially a lot of Latino Americans,
a lot of Hispanic people.
A lot of Hispanic people in general, like in the U.S., in Mexico, all over the world, really, were mourning Selena. And even people that weren't of Latin descent were like mourning Selena because Selena was big.
I wasn't alive then, but I'm mourning her now.
Same. Like I said, I listen to her almost every day. I love Selena. But rumors start to spread that Selena isn't actually dead. Anything for Selena's. But rumors begin to spread that Selena isn't actually dead, and it was a publicity stunt. So the family opened the casket, and Selena is holding a single red rose in her casket. So obviously people are like, oh my god, this is not a publicity stunt. Like, Selena's like in this casket. It's real. And that's It's a big shock to the people that were in denial, because then you're literally looking, at
a dead body. That's like traumatizing.
Yeah, it is. And the thing with Selena in particular is a lot of people, when you're idolizing an artist or a celebrity or anybody, you don't see them as like.
Well, and every time that some kind of famous person dies, it's always like at first everybody's like, is it a hoax? Because there are hoaxes.
And the casket was closed, so they were like, well.
But yeah, the family doing the hoax is not normal.
No.
The hoax would be like somebody saying that she was dead and she wasn't, but there's like a literal funeral being held.
Right.
So it's just disrespectful.
The first Selena movie was filmed like 2 or 3 months after Selena passed away.
I think I've seen that one.
That's the one with Jennifer Lopez. It's good. It's really good. Anyway, so people were a little bit like upset about that, but the way that it was explained by Selena's family was they wanted to put the true story out before misinformation started to arise. And it already had, because people are always looking for a conspiracy and all that. But they just wanted to make sure that Selena's story was told correctly.
Well, and this is back when Jennifer Lopez was like younger, so she was able to pull it off really well because of their features being very similar and both being very beautiful Hispanic women.
Yes. So we're going to go back to Yolanda. Because now we're waiting for her to be sentenced. And it's October 1995. And the jury only took 2 hours to deliberate.
It's not long.
No, that's not long at all. And she was found guilty of first-degree murder. And she was given life without possibility of parole until 2025 at the earliest. Now, I don't think they're ever going to give her parole because she is kept away from other inmates for her own safety.
Yeah, so people would destroy her. Honestly, though, if I worked in that prison, I'd be like, oh no, she accidentally got put in with the regular people.
People are waiting for
She accidentally got put in right into the middle of a group of Hispanic women. Oh no.
But Yolanda, I don't think she's ever going to be. There's a few people
we're going to find out next year. I'm sure she's filing appeals, you know?
Oh, yeah, she wants a retrial.
So, stupid. We'll find out.
She wants a retrial.
Well, you can't have it!
No, she genuinely doesn't believe that she should be in prison for this, and she's so remorseful. She did not do it. It was an accident. She was trying to kill herself.
Whatever. If she was trying to kill herself, she would be dead.
She would have already done it when she had the gun.
It works. Like, with a gun of all things, you can't just not kill yourself if you wanted to. If you wanted to do it, it would be really, really easy. And that's not to, like, dismiss that, like, I don't think killing yourself is really a good thing. Like, I myself have dealt with, you know, depression and all that for a very long time.
Me too.
But, like, if I had a gun when I was, like, going through the worst of it, like, I wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
I would have done it. It's, you can mess up and try to kill yourself and not do it. Yeah. When you're like, I'm not gonna give people any ideas, but there are ways that, like, you can live through them or you can die from them, depending on if it's, like, you know, but with a gun, like, and shooting yourself in the head, if she wanted to be dead, she would be.
Exactly. And
if she wanted to be dead, she wouldn't care about getting out of prison.
Well, it's exactly. And there's another case, and he was, I don't remember his name, but I think it's a Colombian case where he was a pedophile and he murdered young boys and all this. And he's talking about how he's innocent and he's going to get out, but they're never going to let it's another case where it's like, if you let this person out, there's a group of people waiting outside to dump them. Like, and especially
when it's like a man that does something to, like, boys sort of thing, that is some of the worst to me, because that creates such a negative energy around, like, LGBT people.
Yeah.
Because that's an argument that a lot of people use to say, like, oh, they're pedos. And it's like, not every gay man likes little boys just because that one was a freak. It's just like, not every straight man likes little girls.
Yeah, but like the point that I was making is,
yeah, sorry.
There's certain people that are in prison that if they ever get paroled or let out, they're
just gonna die. Yeah,
there's a group of people waiting to jump them, and it's him and Yolanda are the two biggest ones that I can think of, because there's memes about people waiting for Yolanda to get out of prison.
If John Venables, like, if his name, like his new identity ever gets leaked or his picture gets leaked, like, he's totally a goner.
Oh yeah,
that's if they ever let him out again. But
I don't think they should. But
I don't think they should let any of these people out.
I don't think that Yolanda will get paroled, because, like I said,
the scary thing though is that sometimes the people that we don't think should get out do
get out. Well, but the thing with Yolanda is that it's a big danger for her, because like I said, I'm about to be in that group of people like, what's up, girl?
I always feel so awkward when we're laughing during this, because, like, obviously I feel completely terrible. And it makes me feel sick to my stomach. I'm not laughing about what happened to Selena, but I'm laughing because of how stupid the criminal is. I am laughing at these dumb-ass criminals.
I'm laughing at Yolanda for thinking that, like, she really matters.
She thinks she deserves better? She deserves nothing.
No, it's not even that she thinks. She's like, I need a new trial. Okay, this was an accident. Okay, I was trying to kill myself.
She deserves less than nothing.
And the gun accidentally went off. Like, no, girl, you killed Selena, and you wanted to kill Selena. And you tried to kill Selena before this, and you failed.
And you couldn't let anybody else have her. Because you are a piece of shit. Like,
and the craziest thing is not only does she blame Selena's dad for this, she also claims that Selena was pregnant during this. But her husband, Chris Perez, is like, no, she was not pregnant.
Well, and that's something that they would have found out at the hospital when they were, doing all that medical stuff on her.
Yeah.
Like, trying to save her life. They would have figured that out.
It's just crazy to me how Yolanda is like, she makes this narrative that she's innocent, but, like, if you thought she was pregnant and you still shot her,
what?
Like, you should be in jail. What?
You took 2 lives that day.
Like, so in your mind, you're saying you took 2 lives and you want a retrial?
Yeah. And, like here's the thing. It would depend on, of course, like, how long into the pregnancy she was. If she was, which she wasn't. But, like,
at least that's what my source said.
But yeah, why would that be, like, I mean, of course, we probably don't have the medical records. So we're going off what articles say, and it's completely valid if she was and they chose not to tell people that.
Yeah.
That's also okay. But it's still, if that's like her argument, like, how does that help you?
My thing is the fact that she's blaming Selena's dad on her murdering Selena. I'm like, how is that his fault? Did he have the gun? No.
It's his fault that he wasn't there to stop it, I guess. That's probably how he feels, too, the poor guy.
Oh, yeah, well, they
probably all blame themselves for not being there.
Selena, on that morning, she did not tell anybody that she was going to meet Yolanda.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have let her go by herself.
No, they wouldn't have, and she went completely on her own volition. So it is Yolanda's fault for being a douchebag.
God. Well, yeah, even if it is something that anybody else could have prevented, like, even if they somehow could have, it still wouldn't be their fault. Because they are not the one pulling that trigger.
Yolanda is stupid, and I hate her.
I agree.
And that's just all I wanted to say.
Dumb idiot. Everybody point and laugh.
It's because I can't... They better not parole her ass. I swear to God.
They probably won't, because they usually don't with, like, murder. But they do occasionally. And if they do, it doesn't matter, because obviously Selena fans are crazy. But not crazy in a Yolanda way.
They're justified.
Justifiably crazy. And again, I'm not gonna justify murdering somebody, but I would look the other way.
Street justice.
I have very mixed feelings on, like, death penalty and stuff like that, but
yeah, I think in some cases it is
warranted sometimes, but in sometimes it's, like, misdone. So
yes.
Anyway, that is the end of this episode, but we'll be back with another case next week that has actually been given to me by one of my friends, and it's about someone that's kind of related to some of their family members.
A little bit more personal.
It's not a very big case outside of the area that it happened, so hopefully if anyone is listening to this, we're able to kind of help spread the story for that one.
I know that we didn't really need to spread awareness about Selena. I just really wanted to talk.
I mean, it has been 20 years, so I think it's totally possible that the younger generations don't know about Selena. So while it's a huge case, it definitely does not hurt to talk about it still. Anyway, we will see everybody next week.
See you next week.